PSA: Uncontrolled emotional blackmails can't help black folks. Now, I look back at the last live stream Pastor did, and because I had my argument with a bitch ass nigga named Action Potential. And so I wanted to look back at that live stream and figure and be like, did he do that with other people? And surprisingly enough, well, not surprisingly, I called it like I saw it, and I was right. This bitch ass dude went up there and argued with pretty much everybody on the panel. BMT, Clue, Koja, even Kev. And Kev was literally on his side, but he wanted to argue with him too. And guys like that are in abundance in our community. And they claim they want to help. They claim to be defenders of black women and black children and black people, or they claim to be defenders of black men. But when you hear them talk, the longer they talk, if you disagree, if you make commentary on what they saying that, hey, bro, this don't make sense, that's when they want to talk to you any kind of way. They want to call your names. Then they want to point out your sexual history or lack thereof. They want to call out how your living situation is not like theirs and all kinds of goofy stuff, which you can verify, by the way. I mean, like, unless I really tell you and actually show you my living conditions, you really can't tell what my living condition is. Like yesterday, I mean, yesterday morning, bro, talking about, oh, you live in a 1-bedroom apartment, and I'm like, yeah, I do, yeah. You by yourself, and he's like, yeah, okay, yeah. But in actuality, you really wouldn't know unless I actually show you. Now, y'all seen what I look like. This is my picture. This is me with the beautiful woman right there. I mean, unless I actually show you how I live, you're not going to know. But the difference between me and other people, I don't brag and boast about my lifestyle. What is that going to do for you that I brag about what I got and what I don't got? What is it going to do? What is it going to do? We talk about you do this for the community, you do that, but we can't see it. Brag about women and brag about how much money you have. Okay, great. But what is that doing for anybody? And you have a guy, and he's not the only one. I ran into several guys who be on panels who want to defend black people. They want to defend black women, but they're so uncontrolled. They can't control themselves. It makes you wonder, why are you even here? Now, there's nothing wrong with having passion. But when it's uncontrolled, you're no good to anybody. You can't help black folks. You can't help the women if that's what you want to do, help black women and black children, but you can't even control yourself enough on a panel to talk coherently and be able to put your points out there. You can't help if you're for black men's rights, but you can't even control yourself enough to speak coherently and be able to raise your point without trying to drag black women. It don't work like that. And like I said, I've seen on both sides, the ones for black men, the guys for black women, and it's the same thing. And then what's even more ironic is that you could confuse the you accuse the other side of doing the same thing. Like what happened to me yesterday morning. Like, you can, yeah, they Mr. Red, they take your words out of context. They don't answer questions straight. I'm like, okay, but you're doing the same thing that the manosphere doing, and this is not new. We have other guys who claim to be anti-black manosphere, but they do the tactics that they claim the black manosphere do. And what's worse is that people support them. People subscribe to their channels. People just and you be like, wow, this is what you support. That's who you rocking with. Now, look, I'm not the person to tell people who they go to and who they don't. But who you rock with really says a lot about you. Hey, Dieter, how's it going? It says a lot about who you are, what you entertain. And I'm not talking about you just listen to them casually, because listen, I listen to a whole bunch of people. People for the black community, people against the black community, people SYSBM, people who are pro-black, people who are in the middle. I listen to everybody. Because my thing is, I am doing great, D. Durrell. I'm doing good. You know, like it's just another YouTube is showing me that a lot of these guys are just they can't help nobody. They really can't help black folks go where they want to go. They're in the way. You know, because even with the guys, you know, you see guys like Kev, BMT, Information Man, Super Mike. You have these guys who truly want to help black people, but then you got dudes like Action Potential. Then you got dudes like Taz walking around. Then you got certain dudes like that around who just messing up for everybody. And then you wonder, like, wow, these are the people we need to be defending us? I mean, I'm talking about for the people supposedly for black people. Let's look at the people for the black manosphere, like a Mr. Fantastic, like a game changer. And you'd be like, these are supposed to be for black men? These supposed to be supporting black men? You can't even talk right. You can't keep your emotions in check. And then have the gall to talk about how their life is good. I'm like, nah, bro, you can't say your life is good and you're yelling and screaming all over the YouTube streets. Somebody disagree with you. Even people in your own camp. You want to cuss them out, disrespect them, say their life is worthless, and then have the gall to say, well, that's what these other people do. And I'm not just seeing, I have, and it's just like, wow, these supposed to be defenders. These supposed to be leaders, so quote unquote. I'm good. Now that's why, like I say, I stay dolo solo, and I choose who I be around wisely. And if I don't respect you, I just treat you any kind of way on a panel. Like I told that guy, I said, look, I don't respect you. I don't like you. So I'm not going to treat you with the same amount of respect I will treat someone like D. Durrell, or I will treat someone like BMT, or I will treat someone like Information Man, or I will treat somebody like Super Mike, or D. Durrell in the chat. Because these are men I have respect for. A lot of these emotional, uncontrolled, I don't have respect for. So I don't have no problem dissing them. I don't have no problem pointing out the obvious that they act like bitch ass niggas. And when you do that, they come unglued. Then they want to, especially yesterday. I'm like, I didn't know that dude wanted, like, he was mad at me, or he wanted to like have relations. Which, by the way, you notice a lot of black dudes on here should talk about sex with other men a lot as an insult or something like that. I don't know. I think that because a lot of times I see that is in the prison where I work. I know, like 30 years ago, you wouldn't see black men saying stuff like that about I want to suck your penis, or you gonna suck my dick, or I'm gonna fuck you in the, like, you wouldn't see stuff like that. You wouldn't hear black men saying like that. That white folks do that. But it's like I think this some of that prison lingo can't made to the streets, and now it's just like they come on a panel and they talk that stuff. I'm like, whoa, like yesterday morning, he's like, he brought up my penis. I'm like, then he talking about let's have relations. I'm like, whoa, bro, wait a minute, I ain't bring that shit up. I'm like, it seemed like that's the go-to. And then have to go call you gay, call you homosexual. Like, I mean, it's insane. But a lot of these dudes are projecting. They project their own feelings about the community, black men, black women, and projecting on you. I'm like, no, that's you. But then they'll tell you, hey, we happy. I'm in a happy relationship. I'm like, can't be. You yelling and screaming on YouTube. Matter of fact, you yelling and screaming at women, but you say you're supposed to have a happy relationship with a woman. How does that work? You want to fight for black men, but you yelling and screaming at a black man, talking about he supposed to be homosexual and you want to F. I'm like, What? I tell you, man, this is crazy. And they supposed to be helping black folks. They supposed to be professionals. They supposed to be fighting for black people. How? How does that work? I'm sorry, it don't work like that. Hey, Yellow Rose, how you doing? And T, how you doing too? But this is man, and you wonder why, like we we're not respected as black men, and that's sad because there are black men out here on YouTube streets and on social media who really genuinely want to help black people. They want to help black women. They want to help the black children. They want to help us. I saw you talk to that crazy. Oh Lord, man, BNT. Yeah, man. I'm like, man, I'm like, okay, and the thing, BMT, I wanted to make sure it was just, is it just me? Maybe that was the, no, he did that the whole night. He did it to you, Clue, Koja, Kev, and especially Kev, because Kev was on the side and he doing that to him. That's something. That's insane. But these are the type of dudes we have out here, and they're gonna lead you astray. They're gonna be the ones to stab you in the back. They're gonna be the ones if they can't be controlled. And if you have them in whatever you're trying to do, they're going to ruin it. That happened with the Black Panthers. They had a bunch of guys who was not controlled. They wasn't emotionally stable. They had a lot of vices that ultimately ruined that group. They harmed a lot of black folks, black men, and women who the ones they were supposed to be fighting for. You see that a lot in gangs, other gangs. I see that a lot in prison. And save your peace. He does that to anyone who has an IQ. Oh no. He ain't gonna ruin my. Nah. Yesterday was fun for me. I'm like, hey, shh. I just got out of work. I'm like, hey, shit. That was funny. And that dude can't make me angry enough to be like to want to fight. I mean, that stuff was like, you be in the prison, you deal with guys like that all the time. Most time I just ignore them. I'm like, okay, bro, sit down. But then you do have to confront him, like, dude, I just look at him like, no, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not. I'm like, I'm just gonna look at you, and then when they calm down, then we can have that conversation. I mean, I've been in prison for 15 years. I've dealt with these type of dudes. Most times I ignore them. Other times I'll write them up. Other times I go get the supervisor. And like I told them, every time when they talk that big stuff, when me, my supervisor, and other officers come through, most times they put their hands behind their back, get handcuffed, and we take them to the cage to cool off, or we put them in that seg to cool off. That's all it is. Burn the gas. Burn the gas. We burn the gas. Hey, can you give up the cuff now? They give up the cuff. I'm like, so it's like, what are you really doing? That's why it don't bother me. No, because you're not gonna do nothing. Well, I can't do nothing on you. I know, that's the point. So why are we talking? What you gonna do? Nothing. So that tough talk, yelling and screaming, I'll just yell and scream at you back. But then that's it. And then when I'm done, that's it. But again, that's what happens when you let these dudes talk. They come on the panel, they talk, they ruin the conversation. And like I said, last night was some good conversation with when UBMT, Koja, Pastor, I think who else was up there? I think Clue was up there, and y'all was just debating y'all stuff, and then here comes Goofy ruining the whole thing. Guys like that, they can't help nobody. And you get, and again, you're on YouTube where there are no consequences in acting like that. How you think they're gonna act like in real life? Especially if the situation is the same. How do you think they're gonna act like? How do you think that when there's real problems going on, how they're gonna act? When there's when you need a black man to be a level-headed person, because there's a lot of stuff that can happen out here where you need to be level-headed. I don't mean being pushover, but you have to be level-headed. Like in the prison, I have to stay level-headed because I don't know what these dudes are doing in that prison. I don't know if they got shanks. I don't know if they're just gonna haul off on dudes, because I've seen that happen. I've seen guys just haul up on the officer. I've seen the officer get beat down. And the sad part is the other officers did not help him because they were afraid. You got to have a level head. Otherwise, yes, you're going to get knocked off. Your head knocked off. And that dude yesterday, I'm like, if you were on the street, I'm like, dude, if you was where I work, you wouldn't talk like that. Not like that. Not to everybody. Because you won't last long. You will get beat up. I remember there was one inmate. Oh, bring the officer. I'll do this. Light-skinned dude. I'm like, come on, man. Really? This is what we're gonna do today? This is what we're gonna do? I'll take the officer. I'll beat his ass. My supervisor came, put his hand behind back, walked out. Came back the next day talking that stuff. Okay. The day after that, getting beat up by a white boy. That white boy was whooping his ass. I'm like, what the fuck going on? He on 3-row. I'm down here, and I see him running down with the white boy on his ass. And I'm like, I'm thinking they playing. No, they fighting, like really fighting. I gotta call my supervisor and other officers. I'm not breaking that shit up. Hey, stop. No. Call my supervisor. They come get him. They get him out of there. And the white boy ran into the day room area where all the inmates are. He's trying to hide. I'm like, where is he at? I'm like, I see him right there. Get out of here. Come on. But that's why I found out the people that talk the loudest can't control themselves. Really ain't no good for the community. They're going to ruin anything they touch. That's what I told that guy AP yesterday. I said, I feel sorry for your wife. I feel sorry for any children you have. Because if you act like this, where there's no consequences, I can about imagine how you act like with them. Or you want to act like. And when you get in a situation where you don't have your way or you get angry enough, you're going to treat them like you treat people online. the best thing, you know how people are going to act, how they're going to act is where in a place where there's no consequences or where there's pressure. You're going to find out how people really truly act, especially if you see it here. See how they act here, and then see, and you will see this is how they are. This is what they can be when there's no consequences, where they have unlimited power, where there's no repercussions. This is what how people will act. These are the people that you need to watch out for the most, because when that pressure comes, they're the ones going to fold the quickest. And God help you if this person is supposed to be your friend. God help you if this is supposed to be a person that's supposed to be your protector, your husband, if you're a woman, or your man. I mean, it's 2023, all type of relationships out there. This is supposed to be your brother. This is supposed to be your husband. This is supposed to be your business partner. This is supposed to be someone you're supposed to be fighting the enemy with. They're gonna help you lose the war. They're gonna help you lose the house. They're gonna help you be a single mother. They're gonna help you or help you end up deleted. They can't help black folks. They're worthless. Yeah, they're entertaining. It's entertaining. But at the end of the day, when it's time for something serious, when we really need to do something, they can't be with the main people. You can use them as fodder. You use them as pawns. Throw them out there and be the first one getting stabbed, while the real people, the real fighters, go and storm the castle. That's what you do with these guys. But you don't let them be leaders or nothing. And ladies, don't let them be your husbands. Don't let them be your husbands. Don't let them get you pregnant. I know that's a little bit of SPing, but man, but that's just how it is. Can't have these people around. And unfortunately, there's too many of them around, not just on YouTube, but in life. Gotta leave them alone. Otherwise, like I said, you're not gonna get nowhere. But I didn't want to be on here too long. It's just that's just something that was on my mind, especially after BMT was doing that his live stream. And it's just, you see it, it's sad. And what's the sad thing is they supposedly have a wife. They supposedly have friends. I don't get it, but these weak ass dudes around, emotional, can't control themselves, man. They ain't worth it. Ain't worth having them around, other than keep them at a distance, laugh at them, be entertained by them, but don't take them seriously, and don't put your life in their hands, because they're going to fail you every time. But anyway, thank y'all for coming through. BMT, D Darrell, and T, Yellow Rose. Thank y'all for coming through. Listen to me say my piece. And black men, remember, be powerful or be powerless. The choice is yours. Don't be like AP. And I'm out. Thank y'all.